Hello and welcome to Stained Glass Gaming, where I turn video games into glass. One of my favorite video game series is Monster Hunter, and since the Monster Hunter World Iceborne expansion releases in September, I wanted to make something from it. Originally, I wanted to make the Iceborne logo, but soon realized it wouldn't be possible because of the scale, number of pieces, and getting it to look just right. So instead, I decided to make all 14 weapon icons. This video will be split into 3 parts, because making all 14 in one video is a bit overwhelming for me. The first weapon icons I made are the dual blades, sword and shield, gunlance, lance, and hammer. The way I decided what to make first came down to complexity. I wanted a mix of easy and complex to see how much work it would be, and if what I planned to do would work out or not. I will be making these a little differently than how I usually make them, because most of the weapons are multi-piece, i.e. the sword and shield, dual blades, gunlance, etc. I didn't want to make the backdrop as multiple pieces. I wanted to make the backdrop as one piece. Now when I say backdrop, I mean the empty space between the weapons. My plan is to glue the weapons on the backdrop, which will be black glass, to make the weapons stand out more. I can't explain every step in detail, because I'd be here all day, and certain things vary depending on the situation. If you want to know the step-by-step process, check out my tutorial playlist. I will be explaining stuff that is not included in the playlist though, since I haven't had time to make videos about it. I wanted to make all the pieces out of glass, but once I cut out the tiny pieces that go on the sword and shield, gunlance, and hammer, they were too small. So I decided I will paint them on instead, because dealing with tiny pieces is not worth the frustration. My first Monster Hunter game was Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii. I bought it because the box art looked really cool. Once I started playing it, I really had no clue what to do. I wasn't familiar with the Monster Hunter series at all, so I just kind of played it however I wanted. It wasn't until Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for the Wii U and the 3DS that I realized there was actually a system to it. Now I know underwater combat was both in Monster Hunter Tri and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I actually kind of like the underwater combat. As janky as it was though, it was still fun. I was kind of a little bit sad when they removed it for the next installments, but I understand why most people didn't like the underwater combat. I've played about every single Monster Hunter since Monster Hunter Tri, except for, I think it was Monster Hunter Double Cross on the Switch, because I don't have a Switch. I'm even playing Monster Hunter Stories, which I haven't beat yet, but I'm still going through. And I also want to make something from that as well. When Monster Hunter World was announced at E3 2017, I was really excited. I was hoping it wasn't going to be a PS4 exclusive. And it turns out, it was not. I always wondered what a Monster Hunter game would look like with modern graphics. And it is better than anything I could have ever imagined. I am kind of glad that they streamlined some of the systems in terms of the weapon combos, streamlined the armor skills, that sort of thing. They still have the grindiness of the decos and praying to RNGesus to give you exactly what you need. The only thing I kind of wish they did better, and maybe that might be for an eventual sequel, is to have more weapon variety. The weapons in the previous games had a very different look. They had kind of the base form that would change drastically depending on what weapon path you kind of went on. Whereas with World, the weapon base is always present, like for example the bone or maybe the steel. You can still see hints of that through the different weapon trees. And I don't know anything about programming, so maybe it was more optimum to go that route versus having different models for every single weapon tree. That's just kind of my small gripe. I still love the game, I still play it. I still curse RNGesus when I don't get the weapon-specific stream stones I'm looking for. Overall, it still is a Monster Hunter game, and I'll be playing the heck out of it when Iceborne comes out. To be able to line up the icons correctly, and to know where I need to paint, I use painter's tape to cut out the outline of where the weapons need to go. E6000 glue is used to attach the icons to the backdrop and needs to set for at least 24 hours before I can work on them. I gave it 2 days because I was busy with other things, and the next time I looked at it, there was a mistake on the Gunlance. I didn't notice it had shifted when I was gluing it, and didn't line up with the tape, but I can't do anything about this now. I'll have to be more careful in the future. I use acrylic paint made specifically for glass. This can either be baked in the oven to set, or air dry for 21 days. I go for the air dry because I don't want to bake glass in my oven. I had a little trouble with the paint, but it was the best I could do for this video. There is also some tape left over because I didn't line up some of the icons correctly, and I can't get the tape off. I will have the paint fixed by the next time I release the part 3 video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment if there's something you want me to make, and I'll see you all through the next pane.